Hogs were screaming like the apocalypse had arrived, and the barn lights flickered like a cheap haunted house when I spotted the thick yellow cords snaking from my outlet into a gleaming RV parked on my land without so much as a handshake. That moment hit me like a gut punch. Someone was stealing my electricity, and the faint smell of charred wiring wasn't from my pigs. It began as these HOA nightmares often do, with the grating beep, beep, beep of something obscenely overpriced invading my peace. I was kneed in slob tossing feed to the hogs, their grunts mixing with the hum of power lines overhead. Then I heard a vehicle reversing, sounding like it came with its own valet rounding the barn. I saw it, a 50-foot RV, chroma-trimmed with tacky flamingo decals, and a solar panel that screamed, "I'm eco-chic." Standing beside it, hands on hips like she owned my dirt, was Linda Pierce, the HOA's self-crowned dictator, whose authority ended at my fence. She'd hassled me before once for a non-existent rooster. Another time for unkempt grass after a storm fried my mower. But this was theft dressed in audacity. I approached, forcing calm need directions. I asked Linda, barely glanced up. "Who board cleared me to park here temporarily?" she said, waving a paper about emergency accommodations. I pointed out she was on my land. She shrugged, setting up a canopy and folding chairs like it was her backyard. Stunned, I let it slide. Assuming she'd moved by morning that evening, the real trouble hit checking the hogs. I noticed the barn light stuttering, one heat lamp dead. The pigs, usually docile, post-feeding, were restless, knocking over buckets I'd rewired this barn last fall with a stabilizer. Nothing should have failed outside inspecting the breaker. I saw it, a heavy-duty yellow cord half hidden under a tarp, slithering from my outlet across my drive and under Linda's RV. My blood boiled. She wasn't just trespassing, she was siphoning power critical to my livestock. I pounded on her RV door. Linda answered, wine glass in hand, smiling like we were pals. "What's with the cord?" I demanded. "Oh, my generator's too noisy," she chirped. "Who rules? I figured your outlet was neighborly." I told her it powered my barn, not her vacation palace. Her smile didn't waver just a few days. Tom community spirit. I yanked the cord, her RV went dark, fridge beeping in protest. "Move this by morning or I call the sheriff," I said. She laughed. "The sheriff's on our board." "Good luck." She slammed the door. Sleep didn't come that night. Linda's casual theft and smug confidence nodded at me. Calling the utility company or code enforcement felt too slow. This was personal, and I wasn't about to let her win by dawn. I checked the barn. She hadn't replugged, but a new cord now ran from her RV to my unplugged shed freezer. She was a parasite, hopping outlets instead of confronting her. I smiled, waved, and flipped the switch, rerouting excess power to the barn's industrial fans. Normally low to cool the pigs, they now roared at full blast, blasting hog stench toward Linda's canopy, where she'd set up a brunch spread by noon. She was at my door, coughing, demanding I stop the fans. "Want to plug into them too?" I asked. She sputtered about sabotage and HOA violations. I told her to file a complaint. The pigs squealed behind me like a Greek chorus. Linda stormed off, dragging her cord like a defeated general. The next day she escalated. A crowd gathered near my fence. Linda at the helm, clipboard in hand, preaching to HOA loyalists like Roger, a retired accountant with a fetish for rulebooks. She waved a map claiming a new easement gave her access to my outlets for emergencies. I spotted her hand-drawn dotted line in fresh ink. Later, the HOA president, Ed, arrived in his electric SUV, playing peacemaker. He admitted my double power bill, but urged flexibility for Linda's hardship. I asked if he knew overloading my barn risked my animals. He dodged, hinting the HOA could cut my rural utility perks. I snapped, "If she plugs in again, I'm filing for trespass," and every stolen watt. Ed left mumbling about cooperation that night. Linda's cord was back, buried under gravel, feeding an outdoor fridge stocked with craft beers and gourmet dips. I didn't unplug it. Instead, I rigged a monitoring box to track her draw and installed a kill switch at sunrise. I blared a looped recording of pig squeals and grinding gears through a barn speaker. Linda burst out, granola bar in hand, yelling about sparks. "Maybe your generator's shot," I said. She demanded I check the barn after I consult a lawyer about theft. I replied, her face twisted, shock, rage, disbelief. She retreated, door slamming Linda, then launched a petition for emergency utility access. Strong-arming signatures. Neighbors asked me what was up. I showed them my power logs and cords, Some nodded quietly. Supportive, her next move was a forged permit claiming my approval for her hookup. I was lied to, fake my signature as a rural electric co-op board member. I knew she'd attended our meeting. Banning such hookups, I called a county inspector who found no violations on my end, but flagged her RV for illegal sourcing. Linda doubled down, filing a complaint accusing me of environmental sabotage and emotional distress, demanding compensation for her ruined brunch. I countered with a small claim suit for stolen power trespass and livestock endangerment, backed by logs, photos, and footage. Linda took to social media painting herself as a victim of my power monopoly. My niece Ellie posted a viral video exposing Linda's cords and forgery, titled HOA Queen Steals Hog Power. It exploded online, spawning memes and pig-themed t-shirts. Locals rallied, hosting a free The Outlet cookout near my barn, waving signs like Unplug Linda News Cruise, filmed me by the pigs, respect matters more than rules. I said the HOA disavowed Linda's actions, admitting my land was beyond their reach. Still, she plugged in, so I activated surge limiters, cutting her power mid-brew. Her coffee maker died. She blamed her RV's wiring at her wine and cheese party. I cranked the fan, sending stench and chaos. Guests fled plates. Airborne neighbors whispered, questioning her presence. Linda hired a shady inspector who I sent packing for lacking credentials. Her screams called me a community threat. The pigs squealed back in court. Linda's lawyer spun her as a desperate camper, targeted by a vengeful farmer. He showed her forged permit. I presented co-op records, a notary signature verification, and Ellie's video. The judge, unimpressed, asked Linda for proof of permission. She stammered about community norms. My certified map proved my land's independence. The judge ruled for me. Linda owed for power damages and fees. She sat stunned as her lawyer fled the local paper. Ran the story farmer foils HOA power grab. I became a reluctant hero, coaching others on utility rights for jars of jam and handshakes. Weeks later, a tow truck hauled Linda's RV away. She left silently, her nephew trailing with bags. The HOA drafted clear boundary rules, and I hung a sign. Private power, no trespass. Sunflowers bloomed beneath it. The co-op named me Steward of the Year. I taped the certificate by a photo of Ellie with a pig. Linda resurfaced online, blogging as an RV rights advocate, calling me a hoarding tyrant. I ignored her. At dusk, I walked the fence barn. Light steady, pigs calm. Ellie's framed protest photo hung above the breaker. A reminder that one cord, one stand could spark a reckoning. Linda thought she could steal my power. She forgot who wired the fight.